Good morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Oh, okay. Here we are. It's starting a little bit late today, but I wasn't going to go at all. Um, but here I am. So we'll see if somebody put something in the chat so that I can see whether my audio. I had it muted last week for like a minute, I think, before it went. I figured it out. Hey Ed, how you doing, man? There you go. Can you hear me okay? Is it audio coming through? Just Steven, you're here. Sweet. Hey DD. Good to see you all the way across the pond. Mazzy's here. All right, fantastic. You guys coming in. We got 8 people now. So yeah, let's get going. I thought, well, we'll see if I can. Hey Jens. We'll see if I can you hear me fine. Thanks, Bobby. All right, cool. Um uh I wasn't gonna do a stream today, but I thought, maybe I can with your help in the chat, and if somebody wants to come up after a bit, and we can have a good conversation about whatever we want to talk about. And it is Super Bowl Sunday. Go Hawks. I'm excited about that. We're going down to my folks' place down the road, have a big dinner, and the one thing that we're gonna eat at 1, but then we get full of food, and by 3:30 when the game comes around, it's nap time. I'm ready to take a nap. So I might have to take a power nap in between the meal and 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 kickoff. I wish they would. It would be great if Super Bowl started at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. I just think it would be. But I assume they're already starting with the pregame show and all that. So there's lots of advertising dollars to be made in the hours leading up to it. And so anyway, it's all good. Hey BK, how you doing, man? Loki's here. Go Winter Olympics. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to watch any of the Winter Olympics. Um, uh, yeah, just even it might have been that first time. That it's a rarity, I think. But maybe yeah, I don't know. I don't want to dissect that too much. But anyway, so I'm going to show a few things, talk about my what I did the last week a little bit, and then I'll open it up and we'll get some people up if they want to. Yeah, allergies. Uh, that's why I can't watch it. So this week, as you guys know, I've talked about. My buddy and I are going on a motorcycle trip down to the tip of the Baja in April, and we're really excited about it. We're really getting into it. He made this patch for me. Isn't that cool? He's been working on it for a while and tweaking it, but I'm going to stitch that onto something, and really, really excited. So we have these. One thing I really like to do is listen to music while I ride. So I'll have earbuds in, but we have these intercoms with speakers that go in our helmets. But the wind noise is so much that I run it through. I have a mic, but then I run it through earbuds, so that it blocks off the wind noise, and we can talk easier while we're riding. It's super cool to be able to have a conversation even with somebody while you're riding, all day down the coast and stuff like that. So the one thing about having earbuds is they can hurt your ears after a while because they stick out. I have these. I use these JBC Marshmallow earbuds that I really like the sound, but they stick out. So what I did this week, I've been wanting to do this for a while, is I bought these Shure 215 in-ear monitors. And what they do is that one thing about earbuds is when you put your helmet on, sometimes they'll push out of your ears, and you got to get your hand in there and whatever. Well, these Shure in-ear monitors, they wrap around the back of your ear, and then they're flush with the outside of your ear. So a lot of people musicians use these from in-ear monitors when they have when they're doing a concert. instead of having floor monitors and stuff like that. This is real popular. So I got these. Now the one thing about these is they're tuned neutral. The EQ on them is neutral, so it doesn't have it's the sound quality isn't as good as like Apple AirPods. It doesn't have that doesn't have the bass. It has good bass, but it's just you can tell that the equalization is kind of tuned. So you got to get into your phone, whatever app you're using, and kind of mess with the EQ a little bit to get these sounding like you want. But they feel amazing. They don't stick out of my ear at all, and they go in the helmet really nice. So I'm really David, I bet you used in-ear monitors when you're gigging and stuff like that too, right? Um, anyway, so that's that, and that was a good score for me this week. I'm really excited to have these in my helmet on the trip down, and haven't gotten to ride with them yet because we've had rain last week. It's been a wild winter here, really kind of dry and mild. But we yesterday it just started pouring down rain. But Rochelle and I decided to just go to Portland for a date and do some digging and go to Powell's bookstore. And of course, we did go to Powell's, and I picked up this another Taschen book. It's a little thick one, and there's some really cool stuff in here. And the author, I read the beginning, and it's pretty cool. But there's all sorts of just really neat, separated by decades through this. And it was fun to find, of course, records that I have or have passed on to friends and stuff like that in this. But this is just, sometimes when you're listening to records, you want to do something, if you're a knitter, you'd knit or something. I bet Beetle Bay probably knits while she listens to records. But this is fun to look at while you're listening to records. So yesterday I first started off at Everyday Music right downtown because I wanted to pick up a record or see if I could find a record for my buddy, and found one for him, picked that up. They have a lot of new stuff there. And it was right across from the Crystal Ballroom. We and the Crystal Hotel. We had lunch and there. So while I was in digging, Rochelle was hanging out, reading her book and stuff, and having lunch. And then I went and joined her after I got some records. And then from there we went to my friend's shop, Matt at Everyday Records. Yes, he's a friend of mine. I think he's a great guy. And I picked up some records from him. And then after that, we went to another really good record shop. I know Mazzy knows Tomorrow Records. Very well curated shop. They have a really good jazz and classical section. So I was able to pick up some living stereos. I like the living stereos. And during the time we were up there, at least for the morning, I was listening to Rob's auction, and it was fun. I bid on some stuff, but Anthony Audiophilia came in strong, and he knows what's good, and so he got some good stuff yesterday. But he outbid me a few times, and that's all good. I did get my living stereo fix yesterday, which was really fun. So I'm just going to show a few records that I got this week and yesterday. Start off with some living stereo stuff. This is music from the islands. Now this is part of the LSP, which is the popular series of the classical side is the LSC. So I picked this one up yesterday. Still got this the Miracle Surface hype sticker on it, which is fun to find every now and then. I haven't listened to this, but I put it through the cleaner last night. Here is Daphne's and Chloe's Munch, Boston Symphony, The Shaded Dog. I haven't listened to this yet, but excited about that. Listened to this a little bit last night. This is nice. The Enchanted Woods. This is an LSP, superb sound, which is cool. But the big daddy that I got yesterday with the living stereo, and I didn't have it yet, was this one. And this is I think, as far as living, if correct me if I'm, hey, there's Anthony. Correct me if I'm right, Anthony. This is one to have with the living stereo. Is that right? Discogs, they're not cheap on Discogs. It's one of those ones that if it's in really good shape, it can bring $75, $100 for this record. But I think in decent shape, they bring $20 to $40 depending. This has some ringware, but the vinyl seems to be in pretty good shape. So this was really cool to pick up. Yeah, fabulous record. You know it. Yeah. I picked up one for, Rochelle yesterday at Tomorrow Records, and it was this RSD release of, the soundtrack to Big Night. This is one of our favorite movies. Um, Incredible. If you've never seen Big Night and you love food, and you love small independent films, this is, such a good movie. It's got Louis Prima and Rosemary Clooney, and, this is a it has it's a colored vinyl. It's like a clear, not quite clear, but kind of a whitish clear, maybe opaque a little bit, vinyl, and, yeah, it was, I'm not sure how many years ago it was on the RSD, but, but this was really cool, and I got this at Tomorrow Records. So we listened to this first thing. This is the first record I put on when I got home last night, and just takes me right back to the movie. This is Tony Shalhoub, Stanley Tucci, Minnie Driver, and Isabella Rossellini, but it also has, Ian Holm and, Campbell Scott. Campbell Scott was one of the directors of it, I think. Who else is in it? And it's this is, these guys play two brothers, Primo and Segundo, first and second, and they have this little, Italian restaurant that's kind of failing on the Jersey Shore, and it takes place. It's like in the 50s, and they planned this. Ian Holm owns the Big Daddy Italian restaurant just down the block from them, and, they planned this big night where they're going to hopefully get, I think, who's like some artists, and it doesn't quite pan out exactly like they hope it does, but it's just there's so much like amazing, food photography and them cooking and all these amazing, Italian, uh, this Italian menu that they bring out for this big meal and the soundtrack behind it. So if you haven't seen Big Night, it's like it's not heavy at all, but it takes place over like 48 hours, and it's just such a beautiful film. Highly, highly, highly recommend, this movie. Um, Another one I got yesterday, which was really a big one for me, but many of you won't know. This is Petra. This is, captured in time and space. This is um, a live, recording on A&M, which was pretty wild. It's a double album. This is in the early '80s when, Greg X Volz was the lead singer of Petra, and, this is a compilation. It's a live album of theirs, and I Petra was really probably when I was growing up. I had many of their cassettes and listened to them. So many hours of Petra growing up. They were the biggest, Christian rock band in the world for many years, and, so I was really happy to pick this up. I didn't have this one yet. Um, One of the only Steely Dans that I didn't have was Gaucho, and I got this at Tomorrow Records yesterday, and really happy, to get this. Their records, I mean, their production quality of a Steely Dan record is almost second to none. I think it's, their records are. I love. Is it Patty lied? Katie lied. That album, if you want to test, like, I think it's a reference. They're reference records. Would you guys say that? I think I would say that. They just sound so good. The range, from top to bottom is just, so beautifully produced, and so I was really pleased to pick this up yesterday. But the one I found that, I got from Matt at Too Many Records was a grail of mine, and, some of you will know this artist, but he's I don't think he's done. I think he's still doing his thing, but he hasn't. I don't. He's not as popular as he used to be. But that's, Joe Satriani, and this is, Flying in a Blue Dream. I had this CD in the early '90s, and I had this and a Steve Vai CD. I guess Steve Vai was a student of Joe Satriani, if I remember correctly. I uh, PB Thal Patrick had this on his auction, I don't know, a month or so, a month and a half ago, and I bid on it, but it went way high, and I just couldn't justify. Somebody got that record. I'm sure they're enjoying it. They probably have history with this album or with Joe Satriani. But yesterday I found this for a pretty good price, at Too Many Records, and was just tickled to find it. It's on Relativity, and, this is just, it's that, it's not hair rock, but it's that just that guitar or kind of, progressive but orchestrally kind of guitar driven rock. It's like he's like a guitar virtuoso, So yeah, I was really happy to find this and listen to this last night and rocked out until I had to turn it down a little bit. But yeah, this is so good. So anyway, those are the records that I my new records. I think I have a few more living stereos going through the Hum and Guru at what's my favorite song? Yeah, Loki, I'll tell you right now. And it quite funnily, it's the telephone song. What's it called? The Phone Call. Yeah, is my favorite song here. And I also like the one right after that too. Day at the Beach. Um, it's really varied, the album. It's not all uniform. He does a lot of different things, but yeah, that's my favorite song. Um, Surfing with the Alien in '87 got totally. Yeah, that's a great album too. I forget the name of the Steve Vai CD I have. It's kind of him on the front with a kind of a painting around him. He played a 7-string or plays a 7-string electric guitar, which I always thought was really cool. So hey, Dagon's here. Russell's here. Fantastic. All right, guys. Let's see here. Is there anything? So let's see. We'll do this. And we'll just whatever you guys want to talk about, we can talk about. If you want to put some questions in the like I said on Rachel's stream, I have a hard time just riffing. If I don't have something specific to talk about, I can't just like right now. I'm drawing a blank, but I'm happy to riff off anything that you guys might say, or if you want to talk about the Super Bowl or the politics or more records, whatever you want to do is totally fine with me. I'm good with it. Okay, here's somebody that'll give me something to talk about. There he is. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Marty.
How you doing, buddy?
I just heard the last half hour of you on the stream, but I slept in and
Oh, good for you.
Anyway, so I'm not here to talk politics. Here to talk music.
Yeah, let's do it. I caught about a half an hour of your stream on the way home last night in the car with Joey and Coffee Dave, and you're talking about some stuff. That was fun. Yeah, I think you have a knack. There's no doubt about that. And
well, we'll see how it goes. I'm enjoying it for now. I just don't want to have just talk. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of have in my mind what I want it to be, and it's never quite there yet. I like to be a talk show thing, but it's got to be loose. And I like to have certain blocks, ideas of concepts planned, like in a half hour or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then if it goes over beyond that, but it's not like just having people come up nonchalant, which I love that too. Obviously, like on Rob's show or you or whatever. So just different.
I do much better when I have a little bit to talk about some topics or just, records to show or what I've done during the week. But after that, I really heavily rely on interaction with other people.
Yeah, it's good to have a kind of a few things to start with. I mean, obviously, it's like the monologues that happen or the opening things on talk shows. Obviously, I don't profess to be anywhere near that type of situation. But
well, I think there's an appeal there to that kind of a talk show. Like if you were, it would be cool. Not that you should, but the sitting behind a desk with a comfy chair next to you and somebody sitting it or whatever. That the stage that you have set in your record room for it really kind of frames that, and having if you had certain like David Letterman's top 10 kind of thing that he did every night.
Right. I have my whack-a-moles.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I learned early, and it was sort of accidental, that people like consistency. And when I used to promote photographers for close to 40 years, I used to have light-hearted debates with some of my photographers and other photographers where they'll say, well, how come we're not getting hired for this? Or, sometimes I used to use the word gimmick, and they fucking freaked. Don't call us gimmicky. And I use that as to tweak it, obviously. But if you have, let's say They May Be Giants or Devo, you have a shtick. The Beatles had the music, but they had their long hair. You have something to bring people in initially. Now you got to keep it up for years.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. But I had a couple photographers that did a certain style, and they kept repeating the style, a different format of it, and then people started remembering them. They stood out amongst other photographers that just shot everything.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it got them kind of known, and then they could go on. Like once the Beatles did their quote shtick, if you want to even call it that, or their gimmick, they had a put up or shut up, and they actually did, and they changed every album more or less.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
Specializing is good.
yeah,
But
focusing to begin with, because photographers would come to me. I still get emails from photographers who are either starting out or they're at a career like stop sign. And now it's I have no idea now with AI and everything else. It's a different world. But they want to know. They said, I want to do food photography. I want to do sports. I want to do and I said, well, you need to focus yourself, because people aren't going to know what the fuck you do. And if they want a really good food photographer, they're going to focus on a food photographer, and and down the line, a car photographer, someone who shoots sheet metal. They talk about people who shoot metal, reflective surfaces with cars. I mean, now there's so much AI involved and retouching. It's a whole different world. So.
How do you think that if you were in the middle of your career now, it was all film back in the day. And so it took a little bit more of an investment for somebody to become a photographer. Now
frankly,
everybody can do it.
I did it for 38 years. And only really the first maybe 7 or 8 years was all film. And then digital started happening.
Okay.
And there was pluses and minuses. Initially with digital, it was fine because like whenever we put estimates together for a commercial project, I had to let my photographer, I would ask Michelle or David or whoever, how much film do you think you need to shoot? And so we'd have to, in my estimate, I'd figure, okay, you're going to shoot 25 rolls of medium format and maybe 10 rolls of whatever, black and white, something like that. That was in the budget. And then whatever they told me, I would say, add 5 more rolls. And this is where it costs for the film, it costs for the processing, and every roll of film, especially in color, you had to pay twice for processing, because you would do, and we're getting in a whole different discussion here, but
that's great.
You go to the lab, you do a clip test. So what would happen is the lab would pull out of the spool, or, like this much, like a half of negative. So you'd lose the first frame and develop that first frame at a certain, like sometimes the photographer say, please process it 1 stop or a half stop hotter, because they think it was on Polaroid. You would never know how the final looks. So you'd process one, but processing 1 frame, it would be like paying for a whole process of a whole roll. And then you'd look at that and say, okay, we like this, or we want to make it a little hotter, a little darker. And then they would process the rest of the roll that way. So it was expensive. The nice thing with digital, I mean, there was gear and you had to, charge and rent out or charge the client, but you could shoot 1,000 frames and it wouldn't cost you any more than shooting 5 rolls of film or 100 rolls of film. Digital, it's right there, and you see what you get on the screen, unlike in the old days with film. And also now, auto exposure, you had to have a certain learning skill in photography. Now you don't have to. You have to have a good eye still and frame it.
Yeah. When I would take I've always, I'm just an amateur photographer, but I've always, my dad gave me a Canon TX when I was a kid. And so I've gone through it and then went into digital. And sometimes when you show somebody a picture that you've taken, they'll go, oh, you must have a nice camera. And I'll go, you just kind of let that slide, but you have to have an eye for it. And so, contrary to my statement that everybody can be a photographer, being successful at it's another story. You do have to have an eye for it.
If you have money, you can buy, like I have a couple nice guitars, but I'm a shitty player. I don't deserve to have those nice guitars, really. I mean, when you think about it, but and like you can buy, all these people buy, oh, I need all this good camera gear, it's going to make me a good photographer. Not necessarily. I mean,
indeed,
now you can shoot on one of these things, I mean, it's different. It's nice to have the different lenses and learn how to expose film, but now you can fix it in post. So that's a whole other story.
I'm curious to see, how AI will affect the photography realm too, because when you can just put in a couple prompts and get a picture of a Big Mac, instead of setting up a whole and spraying you have to treat the food. There's a whole team of people that go
Well,
into all that.
the one thing we used to do, I tell you, in the last few years of my business, I made more on food photography because the thing with food photography, food packaging, look in a Safeway or any store you
Mhm.
go to, look in the frozen foods, all the pizzas, all the
All
soup,
pictures on it, isn't there? Yeah.
you can't uh, AI that. It has to be real food. You can't make, and the thing with the FDA, and maybe I hate to say it, maybe Trump will take that rule away. He likes to take every law away that actually protects us. Food has to be real. You can't fake that in terms of the FDA and promoting food. That's why you have all the ingredients, and the health things on it.
Yeah.
There are you may disagree, but there are reasons for consumer protectionism, which has
Yeah,
been eroded, as we know right now, too.
for
I do
sure.
want to say one thing. I wasn't because someone commented. I'm not going to dump on Rachel or Sue. I love Rachel and Sue,
Mhm.
and I'm not on that show, and it's nothing to do with them personally. I like them. I think they're funny. I love hanging out with them. If they ever come down here, I would hang out with them again. But the thing that there's a couple things that push me over. I don't have to relitigate, so I'm not here to go like fighting me against them. That's all I'll say.
Uh, yeah, I agree. Before I address that, Russell, Marty, do you use the rule of thirds in your photos? Absolutely. In fact, when I'm taking a photo, I only see patterns really and depth of field. I can't help it, and it's kind of fun. It's second nature now. The rule of thirds is a real thing, and it's effective. It works, whether you're doing it horizontally or vertically. And then when you combine that with line of sight, depth of field, and stuff like that, you can come up with some really cool things.
And
Um,
I think it's important to be aware of your lighting source. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
look at
for
my
sure.
face. Look how bright that is, and I got
Hmm.
shade here. It's because I got natural light window. But really, in a perfect world, I would fill this in with a reflective card. I could get
Hmm.
a reflective or a softbox and get some light to fill in. Unless you want that dark light thing aesthetically, and that's fine too. This is not great light. I should have a front thing here, but
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Speaking of, Rachel just recently got a new camera, and I
That's great.
I know that, like, when I'm looking at myself here, in the monitor, I'm crystal clear, but the way it's transmitting to y'all out there, it's kinda grainy, and, I actually have a Sony a6000 that I've had for many years, and, I'm thinking maybe I should try to hook that up to see if that I can get a better picture, mount it some way, and just haven't I've never hooked it up to a computer, never used it for video, I've only used it for still photography, but, maybe I will try that in the coming weeks and see if I can produce a better image because it would be nice, um, to come across crystal clear. I guess it's not essential, but it
You
would be
know,
nice.
it's good to have the best presentation possible, but if you don't have the good now you have the I tell you, I did see the last half hour. I can't believe how patient you are and calming, and that's the thing that's wrong. I don't say wrong, and I'll criticize Rob or myself. We get emotional and we get loud, and it doesn't suit anyone. You make the best debater because you're so calm about it. You don't get triggered, and I tell you, I think that's a great thing. So
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
you might get triggered inside, but you
Yeah,
don't.
it's taken years for me. I wasn't like that, when I went through my deconstruction, with religion, in the last 30 years or so, I had a lot of angst and a lot of, and I let myself get too emotionally, involved in debates with my family and my dad, and bless my dad, he's such a gentle soul. I learned a lot from him. Um, but yeah, it's only been, when you get older, things come into perspective a little bit more,
Do they?
they should, I guess, but maybe not always. I can lose control too. I just
I remember 1974.
indeed,
I
I
turned 20 years old
20
that
years old, that's
year.
right. Um, so yeah, it's something that I I learned it's something that I've been practicing for a while, and it just takes practice for me because I wanted to because I was in the midst of conservatives and religious people. I wanted to be effective. I wanted to be the people that I, around the people that I love, and I wanted to be able to get my point across without losing my temper. And so I knew that the best way for me to do that is, and sometimes I'll be in a, talking with somebody and politics or whatever, not online or whatever, and I'll let go a little bit. I always regret it a little bit afterwards, but I'm not the picture of serenity by any stretch. I just happen to focus on it a little bit and try to I try to emulate what I want to get from the person I'm debating with. So we'll see. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I I'm trying to look at Rachel and Sue from a from an anthropological and sociological perspective too, and just to
Well,
see what happens there.
it's hard to debate for I'm not a good debater because I remember what I want to hear, like we all do, and we have biases, and I
Hey, Joe.
get that. We have biases too,
Hey,
but
buddy.
it's hard to debate when. Hi, Joe. Nice to see you.
Hey, Maz. Nice to see you.
It's hard to debate when factual things are right there. Like one thing I know you talk about a lot of times, like yes, I'm left to center. I don't consider myself far left. On social issues, I'm very far left, but I'm pretty left to like slightly left to center or more left than slightly. But I don't protect, like there's a lot of fucking Democrats who got skewed or in prison now for like the Menendez, is that his name?
Bob Menendez.
California,
Yeah.
who's him and his wife are in prison now.
Yeah.
And their daughter actually is an MS NBC former host. And her parents are in prison for milking the system and getting foreign things. So if they get busted, fuck them.
Yeah.
But I don't like the thing, whoever it is, to all of a sudden defend any certain politician just because they're on a certain side.
Yeah.
If Gavin Newsom fucks up, and he has, if Bill Clinton fucks up, and he has, if the Democrats who are in the Epstein things, they should be investigated. And if they find actual things, they should be prosecuted.
It's difficult to break out of that tribal mentality. We tend to fall back into our teams, and it's difficult to do that, to stay objective, because we don't want to see because we see it as we're losing face if the person we support loses face, and that's hard to do.
When we disagree and can't have a conversation about our disagreements, that's when we're losing the battle. That's when things go bad, and that's what I'm seeing a lot today is people disagreeing politically and then arguing with each other, and then it just turns into just hatred. And no matter what side is doing what, it doesn't matter. They're not.
Joe, what would you say is the source of that? Why are we as a country?
I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. I think it's a newer thing, and I don't know if social media has something to do with it.
It surely does. But wouldn't you say Trump? Trump is 100% grievance. His whole modus operandi is the grievance, is that you've been wronged, and somebody is to blame, whether it's immigrants or the left or Antifa or whatever.
Let me say this. And I want to come across I don't want to come across as somebody that's only conservative or only Republican. I voted for Trump twice. I voted for him the first time with no hesitation and voted for him the second time with a lot of hesitation. I don't like him. I don't like the guy. I really don't. And I don't like a lot of his policies and everything, but I don't hate him. I think he needs to keep his mouth shut a lot of times. And if he would actually do a lot of the stuff that he promised to do and not react, his problem is he always reacts. He always reacts to comments or conversations. And that's what gets him into a lot of trouble. And he could learn a lot from Obama. He could learn a lot from George Bush in regards to how to be a president. And that's to me one of the biggest problems is that
he's not capable though.
He's not capable of doing it.
With his name on everything and the whole, I know.
Yeah.
But here's to me where it started. Now, absolutely, the internet as
I think it has a lot to do with it. I don't think it's the only thing.
Yeah. But I think it's, and I hate to say it, and people think I think this Trump deranged syndrome is bullshit. The concept of it.
Is.
To me, it started when Trump started talking about the birth certificate of Obama. He wasn't even running then, or maybe thought about it. And he went and he pushed that. So people believed it, even though it was proven and proven and proven and phony. And people had doubts of Obama, whether you call it racist or otherwise, the Hussein thing, all that shit. He used that, again, like Marty said, to divide people and to use it as a God, if I say spear, that's going to sound racist.
Yeah.
And that was when it started, the burst of, and he was on every show talking about that for years, and nothing was ever found. In fact, they proved otherwise, but he still talks about that. It's kind of like the 2020 election and the fake, all that shit. That to me wrecked it.
And they know that he's going to not. He can't not say something.
Right, but people defend that part of him. You know, right. If you like his policies on tariffs, so be it. If you like his policies on, trying to, on one side he wants states' rights, and then one side he doesn't want states' rights. Like now he wants
nationalize the voting,
but he wants states' rights with abortion and all these other things. So you can't have it both ways. The gun thing, I wish nobody could carry a gun at a protest, but that's legal. And I don't like it when that happens. I wish no one could carry a gun, but it's ironic that the gun lobby, and I'm not anti-gun at all, but the gun lobby always thought that the government was going to come and that Clinton was going to take away our guns and Obama was going to take away our guns. And we're finding now it's the opposite, really, that, doesn't want the guy.
Well, that's a fear tactic that they've been using. They've been, the right uses that to propagate fear that the left is coming to take away your guns, and the left has never taken away any guns. It's not going to happen. The Second Amendment is as strong as it's ever been. So, but when you can get votes by that, when you can campaign on that and it's effective, then it works. Then why not use
two records?
Yes,
please do. These are two records that Joe might really like. Actually, I've showed these, but I just got the cover to one of them that had a test pressing on. It's Intervention Records. I showed this Carl Perkins.
Oh, wow.
And this is the first Sun record, Carl Perkins. Intervention Records, which is close to us in Gig Harbor. They do these audiophile records. They did Matthew Sweet. They did Gene Clark. They did the Dillards. They did Flying Burrito Brothers. And what they did, these are really short records. So as much as I hate the double 45 thing, these aren't double 45s, but they cut them at 45 by Kevin Gray because it's so short.
Oh, okay.
One record. This is amazing. The first press sold out. He's going to do a second press, but this is the one that is coming out in 2 weeks. They just sent me the cover, Stoughton covers. We played this last night when Coffee Dave and Joey were here after our show. This sounds phenomenal. And I think some people may think it sounds better than this only because, Johnny Cash has that low voice. So you get more bottom and mid, and it sounds so fucking great. This is
I had an original copy. I think I gave that to my son. He's a big Johnny Cash fan.
This is unbelievable. So, anyway, I just wanted to show those two records.
I don't see any.
I've got one here that Mazzy you'll like that I picked up from somebody.
Hey, there we
Clark. Go. Nice.
I got that
really
record.
Nice. Yeah, really nice. I picked this up from Marty.
Yeah, I listened to it before I sent it to you, Joe. It is good.
It's a really good record.
Yeah.
It's an album that you don't really see a lot.
Yeah, I've never come across it before. I found it in Dallas, Oregon, at a small shop there.
I don't know if Harry's watching. I don't know is he boycotting your show too, Marty?
I don't think so.
Boycott Marty's show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sir Douglas Quintet.
Well, I have that. I'd love anything Doug Somm.
Yeah, it's a great album. It got a great sound.
What type of music is it, Joe?
It's kind of a Texicano, I think is what he calls himself, right? Mazzy is Doug Somm. He's from Texas, right?
Well, it was Sir Douglas Quintet, and then it was Doug Somm, and then it was he had a few different names. He was did the whole Texas thing, and then he lived in the Bay Area for a while in the 70s.
Great singer, songwriter, great guitarist, always put a unique sound together.
He had a bunch of different bands and different records. Dylan's on one of the records on Atlantic Records. Dylan's on Doug Somm Band. That's a great record.
But great songwriter, kind of like Marty. I don't know if have you ever listened to John Prine?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, kind of along those same lines of songwriting. I mean, he's got one song of about yesterday got in the way of today. I mean, just the way he puts words together, I just really enjoy it. But he always had a way of putting great sounding bands together, in my opinion.
He was part of a sort of a country, alt country super group called the Texas Tornadoes with Freddie Fender, Augie Myers, and I forgot who the other person was, the fourth.
Do you guys know Blaze Foley?
Yep.
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know I don't have any of his records, but I know.
Well, he's kind of I think he died young. He got shot over. There's an animated kind of movie of his, a short film about him where it's kind of cartoon. And I saw it years ago, and it talks about, he wrote Clay Pigeons, which when you said John Prine, that made me think of that Austin City Limits concert that John Prine did. I learned that on the guitar. Such a great song. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, if somebody can find or if you can see the Blaze Foley animated, I think it's about 30 minutes or something like that. It's really cool. Very cool.
I had an opportunity to buy a Blaze Foley here locally probably 3 years ago. It was still sealed. And I know his records are pretty valuable, but at the time I didn't know who he was. And it was at my local shop, and I could have got it for a good deal, and somebody came in and bought it. But it's one of those records, you just don't know about. And you don't, when you see it, you don't know it, and you don't buy it. So I wish if I could go back in time, I'd buy it.
Snap it up for sure.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. Makes me cry. Yeah, that's right, Rochelle. I get choked up when I play that song.
But if you like John Prine, do you have any of Townes Van Zandt stuff?
I don't, but everybody, I think Mazzy, you've told me how much you like Townes Van Zandt.
He's a great.
I got to see him too back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I have almost all of John Prine's records, not all of them, but
yeah. Townes was, troubled mind, troubled soul, troubled person.
Yeah, kind of a tragic story, right?
Very tragic story, but the way the emotions that he conveyed in not only the lyrics but in the way he sung his songs is really attractive to me. And he was electroshock therapy when he was young. His family, his family.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, his family thought he was troubled, so they put him in an institution, and he basically fried his brain. Yeah.
Didn't he write Lefty and Poncho?
Yep.
Poncho Lefty? Yeah.
Dylan from Noble Records often talks about his love of Townes Van Zandt.
Yeah. I mean, very troubled guy. I mean, just the song lyrics and everything, but to go through what he went through and to come out of it on the other side and be able to write the songs that he wrote is pretty incredible to me.
The best art comes from pain. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, he literally threw himself off of a apartment balcony just to see what it felt like. I mean, it just his mindset was just insane.
And Chet Baker fell out of a balcony, and that was it.
Yeah,
right.
I shouldn't joke about this shit, but whatever.
It's a common tale. It really.
Well,
is.
I mean, Townes, he done it and he lived through it. I think he got up and walked away from it, but it was pretty high up. It was not a short fall by no means.
Who's the there's a record that I don't have from 74. And his name eludes me. He fell out of a window and became a paraplegic. And he released, why can't I think of that?
Not
it's often on people's top list for 74. Oh my goodness.
Hey Siri, who's the guy that fell out of the window in 1974 record and became a paraplegic?
Somebody says Robert Wyatt. I don't know.
That's it. That's it.
The musician who fell out of a window in 1973 and became a paraplegic.
Yep. Jens got it.
His answer is 42.
I think the album's, is it called Downfall? Maybe
he's British. Robert Wyatt. Yeah. He was in. What band was he in?
I've never heard of him.
He was in one of the sort of not proggy. Well,
right.
Hey Siri, what band was Robert Wyatt in? Soft Machine. That's right.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have one of their albums. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Everybody. Siri's faster than you guys. Okay.
What was Soft Machine? Yeah, I've never heard of it.
They're British, sort of jazzy, proggy,
right,
fusiony. little spacey at
I think
times.
their 74 album is called Seven.
Yeah, I have 3. The third one they call Third, and I have 2 of their records.
Yeah. Rock Bottom, that's it, Revs. Yeah, I knew it was Downfall or Rock
That's
Bottom.
a good
whatever.
name for
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
He
it's
was
actually perfect
going,
name. Yeah.
going through it for sure. Yeah.
Mazzy, I was hoping you were going to bring some of the Bluesville records out. I haven't gotten any of those yet, but they look
Well,
really
they
good.
just announced the new ones. Do I have them right?
The John Lee Hooker, yeah.
Oh.
John Lee Hooker and another one. I'm a huge John Lee Hooker fan.
God damn it. They're just beyond my reach. Oh, here's one.
Mazzy was talking about this guy yesterday, I think, Robert Hunter.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've never
Yeah.
listened to that.
Memphis Slim
Yep.
and Free Lewis.
Yep. Those have already come out.
Yeah, I don't have any of the new ones that are
Yeah.
just announced.
Yeah.
They send me some. They don't send me all.
Right.
I got to show you one thing. Those of you, anyone here watched the whole stream last night? Because this is hysterical. Okay. Whenever I showcase a record, if I get a promo, I say it. Some people still don't understand it and say cash grab or whatever, or chill, whatever. But this is unique. Well, it's unique in my personal situation. Some people get it. I get this FedEx yesterday, right? Okay. And it was a big FedEx. And inside, sometimes when you get a FedEx, depending on who ships it, there is like one of those invoice things. But it's not an invoice, like it'll say no sale. So I won't be charged, okay? This is from Acoustic Sounds. You know Acoustic Sounds?
Oh, yeah, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The media code, and it's highlighted in green, says Chad. Anyway, I got sent double 45 UHQR of Axis Bold as Love that apparently just came out. So the stereo, they're doing a stereo and a mono. Now, my guess is, I'm going to do an honest review. I bet you it sounds fantastic. I've never said
it sounds great.
I bet you I've never said the double 45 don't sound great. I just don't like the concept.
All the
I
flipping. Yeah.
I've never had or seen one of the new boxes.
You love the boxes, though, don't you? It's bigger, the
better
better.
than those dowel boxes. It still maybe doesn't have to be this heavy because there's a lot of promo stuff in it. But I have a feeling, I've gotten some things from a guy I've had contact with me from Sony, and Sony sent me some stuff of the Jimi Hendrix Bold as Love box set that came out last year. So I have a feeling it's Sony reached out to them to send me this. I don't think Chad on his own would have sent Maslov a double 45 in a box. I could be wrong.
Does it say "Shut the fuck up, Mazzy" anywhere on the packaging?
It does not. But it does say promo, and there's no number on it, so it's not a numbered edition.
Well, that's cool.
Oh, it's cool, and I'm gonna listen to it this week. I love the record, of course.
Yeah.
And this is a new cut by Bernie Grundman, double 45.
Will you A/B it with your original copy?
I have it. I think my original might be a mono. I got to look again. I have a.
Well, aren't they doing stereo and a mono?
Yeah, they are on this.
Yeah,
but I prefer this album in stereo. That's just my personal. I do have a mono. Oh, and I do have the Bernie Grundman that came out 10 or 12 years ago. That QRP also. It also is all analog. It's a 33. So I will.
It'd be interesting to see if they improved upon it.
Yeah, but my take is even if they improve it, to me, if you're not A-Bing it, and if a 33 sounds really good, I don't need that extra scotch. And it might be a big scotch, but so anyway.
Well, I'll say this, I know a lot of people complain about these reissues that we already have or reissues that are easy to get original copies of. I've never seen a decent copy of that in person.
They're all hammered every time I find
because people enjoyed it enjoyed them and listened to them. So I have
parties
I have no problem with them releasing that, and it needs to be kept in print, and to have a great sounding copy like that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't pay 150 or whatever, 120.
Yeah,
for a record.
That's a lot of money for a record.
But people do, so that's why they do it. That's why they make it. So I'm not against them doing these at all.
If it was
just
one of my
funny for
favorites,
me.
I'd pony up for sure.
But I'm glad they made the better box personally.
Elliot says that Acoustic Sounds have been running a nice 40 to 50% off sale. He got some good records.
It wouldn't be
That's
on the
cool.
UHQRs though, Elliot.
Probably not. Yeah, what'd you get, Elliot? Let us know.
No, there was no anyway, yeah.
There was no powder inside of it.
There was, I don't think so.
It wasn't anthrax, it was cocaine. Come on.
I don't think that. Yeah. I remember the prison. I used to have that box at the prison.
I don't think I have that one, Mason.
I used to have that, and
of the Monkees, right? Michael Nesmith, the Monkees.
Yeah, that's when he was. Yeah, his solo years. That was around the time when he was sort of inventing MTV, or that was a little later. Elephant Parts, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't. I'll have to look for that. I've slowed down on the 74s because I broke 1,000, so I felt like I've neglected the other records in my collection. So, but I'll keep my eye out for that. Loki, you know what? I was just thinking about that. I'd love to play Dagon's music video, but I don't know how to do it on this, on StreamYard. Like, how do I put a video? If somebody can walk me through it, I'd love to play Dagon's new music video, but I'll have to learn, I guess.
I need to learn that too, Marty, because I realized I got to figure out how to like show pictures and video clips.
Yeah.
I haven't checked in to pay attention what that was.
Are you paying for your?
I am, so I can have more people up. It's kind of a waste for the amount of people I have up right now. I thought I'd be using it more for some projects, and I've been teasing this live stream thing for a good year, and I finally did it. I enjoy it. I'm not sure. I don't know the right time. I wish I could do it where the Brits, the people I know in the UK, can watch, but it's 1 or 2 in the morning for them. And
maybe they can't watch live, but I mean,
I know, but it's the fun thing live is the interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but I mean, I didn't watch your show yesterday, but I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
It's going to be dated. All the news is old by now.
So
you're gonna find out. You'll know.
It doesn't matter.
Super Bowl.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty. We're not living.
I know.
In
I'm just kidding.
80s where you got to watch it live.
Joe, do you listen to videos while you're turning wrenches?
I do.
That's cool.
I do. I usually leave because I don't keep it in my pocket because I'm rolling around on the ground or whatever. So I'll leave it on my desk and just have the video playing, listening to it in my earbuds.
Are you working on cars and stuff?
I'm a golf course mechanic. So I work on lawnmowers. I mean, I work on trucks and cars and tractors.
You're not one of those guys like in the cop shows where you're working on the car on the wheel thing underneath the car and they yank you up and they beat the crap.
That hasn't happened. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping it does.
There's always a scene in some series of that.
There's always hope that will happen. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you, since you work on golf equipment, have you ever found any evidence of Trump cheating at golf? There we go. That's my point.
Well, no, I usually don't work on the golf carts that the golfers use. I work on the golf carts that our workers use. So I don't have the experience. I'm sure if I work on the golf carts, there's a possibility there's a lot of cheating going on, not just Trump.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I guarantee you that.
I'm sure.
I've been around enough golfers to know that it's a gentleman's game, but not most of them are not gentlemen. I'll go ahead and say that.
There's some awesome videos online of people getting into fights on golf courses.
Oh yeah, they take it very much similar to the drama in the VC. There's a lot of drama on the golf course.
There's drama everywhere.
There is.
A Jeff Golfer, I have heard Banana in the Bunch, but I don't have it anymore. I used to have all the Raccoon records that the Youngbloods put out. I like the label. It's got the little raccoon on it. Yeah, the Youngbloods, and then Jesse Colin Young, and what's the other guy's name? I have the solo record. The other guy, the blonde-haired guy. What's his name? I forgot right now. That was when they were a trio by that point, I think.
Awkward silence.
Mazzy, the other thing is I don't know if you've been. I know Marty's been in my streams on Whatnot, but I have a little like a Yamaha mixer. I mean, I don't think I could grab it and show it, but I mean, it's literally about the size of an iPad, and I've got my receiver hooked up to my record player and my reel-to-reel and my CD player and my tape player all going to the mixer to my computer. So when I play a record on Whatnot, you can hear it soundboard quality through your
I
headphones.
wonder if, well, it's funny. Let me grab.
Yeah, maybe Magic could spin some records. I wonder if there's any kind of a copyright issue.
We had an issue.
Not on Whatnot. Not on Whatnot.
No, 2 weeks ago, Joey played some music and the guitar cut out. I realize that it cuts out.
Right.
But he brought this last night. But we're going to try it at some point. He's going to loan me this and bring. I don't have a microphone anymore, like the
Right.
XLR microphones. But he brought this over. He said this might be a good interview.
There you go.
Very similar. Yep.
Like a Scarlett kind of.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I need to play with this stuff. As much as I like doing all the videos and doing the work, when it comes to the technical setup, I'm fucking lazy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
I've
too.
Once
never
it's set
done.
up for me.
I've never done it on YouTube, but like when I go to start my stream on Whatnot, I choose my microphone and my camera and stuff, and it just plugs into the back of my computer. I don't have to do anything, and you can hear if I play a CD or a cassette to sell and Whatnot, you can hear the quality of what you're buying. So
Right.
and it gets rid of because the phone or however you're doing it does the noise canceling, so they can hear you.
Can't. It doesn't.
It picks up your voice, but the music it chops it up.
It does chop it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should I got a record player. Maybe so I have this little Yamaha. This is probably pretty close to like what you have.
Well, I have a streaming mixer. So
Okay. I also have then I plug it into this Scarlett
audio interface. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically my mixer has that streaming audio interface built into it. So you plug the cable and it goes straight to the computer.
Okay.
Hey, Satan Rojas, the talk about the spinning gets nauseating. I mean, it's kind of the point. It's like I put my laptop on a Lazy Susan because I have people on either side and I kind of go like this, you know?
Oh, hence Joey making a joke about Lazy Susan.
Yeah. And then one time I went around in a circle and it just to fuck people up and a joke. It's humorous.
I just about went off the road when that happened.
But even if I had the camera and if I went to the camera like this, it would still, the point is,
it all goes back to people just like to complain. They're just complaining to complain.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But I get it. I just thought, when we're sitting around there drinking wine and spinning the laptop.
Right.
That's cool.
It's Saturday night. What else are you going to do?
Right. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I have an LLC and I have a wholesale account to buy records. And the Axis Bold is Love stereo version is $159 for the wholesale price, but it's actually more expensive than this if you go to the Acoustic Sounds. It's $9 more to buy it wholesale. Yeah.
Do you ever use your wholesale account or your?
I do. I buy a good bit to sell on Whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
so you're reselling new records even?
Yes, I don't resell a lot of new stuff, but I do. Yeah.
I've got a friend here in town, teacher, who I buy records from every now and then, and he finds these weird. He'll go down a rabbit hole online and find discounted new records.
Oh yeah.
That somebody's got, and he'll just buy 6 or 8 copies of the same record, and then resell them. And he does okay. I mean, it's not a huge markup, but
there's a lot of people who watch. I think Whatnot's a great format. And a lot of people, I mean, we're fortunate, Marty. We have record stores in our vicinity.
Yeah.
And we have acts. We have friends that talk about music. A lot of people, that's why this YouTube thing is popular on all levels of vinyl community, because a lot of people, especially as they age, they don't have friends to talk about music. I feel fortunate about that. And they don't have record stores they could drive to within 15, 20
years. We have one. That's it. There's only one. And it just opened in the last 5 or 6 years.
People are home and they're bidding, and and sometimes I find that sometimes I've been selling my doubles and triples, and Kimbo's had some stuff we've been putting in on it, and sometimes people get a good deal, they buy it for cheap. Sometimes they overpay. I don't tell them, it's they're paying what they feel is right to pay. I don't mean overpay, but like really you could get that new right now for $5 less. Speaking
of that, the one thing that I've always been kind of baffled by a little bit, like I'll be watching whether it's Rob's or Patrick's auctions, and it'll be 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, and then somebody will just drop in 25 or 30, and just because they want it, I guess. and then nobody bids over that. But that person just paid 10 or 12 or $20 over what the
Right.
last bid was. And they don't, Rob, and when you're doing an auction, they sell it to you for what you bid. It doesn't
Right.
matter if it's way over the second to
Right.
last bid.
Yeah.
And I've always been kind of I haven't found a record yet that I absolutely had to have. And I don't have, disposable income at that level just to do that. But that's always been, I've always wondered about that. People who are just willing to just dump in a huge number so nobody will come close.
Well,
More power to them, I guess.
There's a lot of good. I've met a lot of good sellers on Whatnot that kind of do it in the way that I do it. Like I've said before, like a virtual record store, that I'm not starting stuff at $1 or $3. I set it at a price that I'm happy with, and if they want to bid, they bid. If they don't, they don't. But they'll sit there and tell you, say, hey, I'm starting this at $6. Don't go over $10 on this. If you're going to bid, don't go over $10 on this. And tell them to stop bidding. And those are the guys that I've gotten to know, and ladies as well, that I've gotten to know. It's not necessarily trying to get the top dollar.
Yeah, that establishes some credibility there. It might work in the long run. It might work to an advantage to get more people to watch if they know you can be trusted.
And a lot of people have gotten upset with Mike at the In Groove. Now he starts all his stuff at the same price usually, and whatever it goes for, and it's an auction. That's what it is. So I don't understand why they're getting mad because
why do people get mad when things go for?
I don't know. I don't understand.
Buyer.
Yeah, it's up to the buyer. Exactly.
Indeed. I'm always like,
you probably know Esky knows. I mean,
yeah.
I know her, and obviously, when you're a young woman, you're pretty.
Right.
There's that factor that adds, but she's been working her ass off.
Right. No, she's definitely put the work in, and she's
always at the show. She's buying stuff. A year and a half ago, she quit her job at the library. She lives up near Mount Vernon, about an hour from here or whatever. And she makes a living at it. She has two young kids.
Right.
She does. I tell you,
it's the finding of the records. Like I see, when I've met Patrick a few times at record shows and whatever, he's digging through stuff, and he knows all the pressing labels, and he knows which, you could have a Jethro Tull album that is worth, most of the time they're worth $5-10, but then he finds that one pressing for cheap that's worth $30 or $40, and he knows which one to look for. And to garner that kind of, to catalog that kind of information just takes so much time and
it does.
Energy. I really admire what it takes to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Esky is she's very nice, and she's very knowledgeable, and people get frustrated with her as well, and complain
people
about,
like to bitch about anything. It's
they
like
do. They do, honestly. But I mean, she puts the work in.
She's only selling records because she's a girl.
Yeah. What I mean, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey,
but no, she has a fantastic following, and every penny that she earns, she has earned it, literally.
Hey, Randy.
I used to see her before I actually knew her personally. I would, for a couple of years, every record show, I would see her. She has this little cart she pulled. She is all over the area. Every time there's a show, I was in Portland in Tomorrow Records once, and she was in Portland. It was a time during that Portland show where we all met, where I met you, Marty. And she was there buying records.
I remember seeing her there. Yeah. It's amazing to be, but like, I resell down here at a shop, and I'm doing good, but I just don't. I rely on a larger margin, so I don't get as many records. If she's going to, I don't spend a lot of times more than $20 on a record that I'm going to resell. Sometimes I do, but very rarely. Only know when I can maybe double my money, maybe. But most of my stuff comes from personal collections that I get, or thrift store. I find stuff, so I have to look a lot longer. But for her to, I mean, she has to do this for a job. She has to rely on going to record shops and to record shows to find albums to resell.
She knows, I find too that yes, every once in a while I have a rare record or rare pressing that I've had, like some of the Beatles stuff I've had, that's multiples of UK or whatever, that I just, at this point, I have 5 or 10 copies of a Beatle album or more. I don't need those anymore. There was a time it was fun to collect them, and I'm at that point I don't need them. But I tell you the thing about Whatnot, which is great. What do they take? Like 12 or 13% they take or something?
Yeah, I think it's 8%, then plus whatever the PayPal
it ends up
fees
being
are.
around there. But
Right.
it is the easiest thing to download the labels. All the things are, you don't have to weigh them. When I did the YouTube auctions, the Coleman Collection, Dizzy stuff, I'd have to type everyone's name in. I have to chase down, did you pay? What's your address? You know, if they weren't a regular. And it would take me 2 days to pack and ship everything. Now it takes about an hour and a half. You know, you just fold it up.
Elliot's asking when do I have a regular time I do my auctions? I really don't. I usually because I work Monday through Friday, and I usually try to get on the weekend, either on Saturday or Sunday afternoons. Elliot, it'll be after church on Sunday afternoons, probably 1-2 o'clock. But that's normally what I do. I'm actually changing jobs in the middle of changing jobs, going to a different golf course. So I've been getting all my tools. I've been getting all my tools out of the current shop and to get ready to bring to my new shop. But normally once a week, usually on Sunday afternoons, I try to do. I don't do like a certain amount of records. That a lot of people like cater or do certain types of shows. I just put everything I have in the inventory, and when I have a show on Sunday, it'll be in there next Sunday. Whatever didn't sell will be in there next Sunday, because I have close to probably 1,000 items between CDs, cassettes, and records, and I sell them all in the same show. I don't do a CD show or a cassette show
or a blues
record.
I don't do eBay. I don't do eBay because
I don't either.
You know, I like that immediacy, and I know Vinyl Piper said Esky sold something that was not worth the $1,000 she wanted. I don't know about that record. I'm sure that happens sometimes, but for the most part, I find out there's a lot of just basic catalog stuff that people still want, like the stuff we talk about. Everybody wants Led Zeppelin, wants Black Sabbath. Everybody wants there's staples that people I sold like 3 Peter, Paul, and Mary records for more than I thought, but they're excellent records and they're clean. And those records you can buy. But I had doubles of those, and they're the palm tree ones, not the originals. And they ended up selling for like, I don't know, $10 to $15 a pop, which is for Peter Paul.
That's
and they're good records, and they're clean.
Yeah, a lot of times those are beat up.
Vinyl Piper made a comment about Esky asking $1,000 for a record that never sold for $550. Well, I know she's been doing consignments as well, kind of like Mike at the In Group. He'll do consignments, so that might not be the price that she set. It might be the price.
She's got a couple collections that
makes sense.
Maybe
And me, I'm not. I could care. I could care less if all my records sell next week. I'm in it for the long game. I enjoy doing it. So, I'll if you don't like the price, tell me what price you want to pay. I'll run it. So I'm not necessarily if it goes unsold, it goes unsold. I don't really care. I only sell on the Whatnot platform because I enjoy the platform, and I like being able to listen to most of the people I buy from. I can listen to the record. If I'm buying from Mazzy, I trust Mazzy's ability to grade records, but I don't trust a lot of people's ability to grade a record.
Yeah. But when we did the Dizzy stuff, I think we did it for 2 years or whatever it was. And I don't know how many records, a couple thousand records. I think there were 5 records or so that had issues, and I refunded money. One time something happened and the wrong record it was stupid stuff, and I said, forward it, and I credited the person back. I mean, if someone had an issue and they got back to me, I just pretty much gave them their money back. Unless I don't think there was anything major happened. I mean, it happens sometimes because I don't play grade every record, especially the Dizzy stuff. My record collection, I know what they sound like for the most part, but I can't go through, like a used record store doesn't listen to every fucking record, right?
Right.
I sold an Indian record on Discogs this week. It was just a $30 or $32 record, and they charged me the $3 fee, but then they also charged me a $6 and change partner fee. What the hell is a partner fee? I was blown. I mean, on a $30 record to have to pay like $8.
Yeah.
It was weird. I Googled it, but
I've never purchased or sold anything on Discogs.
I think I may go back to, of course, I like to hold most of my stuff, but I've got some high dollar records that don't go very well down at the shop here. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just switch back to eBay. I don't know. We'll see. I can't listen to anything now because if I'm gone for a month on the motorcycle in April. So I'm gonna have to turn off my. I suppose you could turn off your account or turn off the sales or whatever.
Yeah, you can
On
sleep it.
Discogs.
There's a way to sleep
Yeah,
it, I think. Hey,
yeah.
Joe, do you have many CD only auctions?
I don't do any CD. I
You
do.
said you did CDs, no?
I do CD. I do sell CDs, but I sell CDs and cassettes and records all at the same time during the same show.
Oh, yeah, because I have some CDs that I want. I might do a separate CD auction at some point. You know.
Randy, I probably would, but I don't think I've shown a lot of the records that I don't have at the shop down here. I could go and pull records that I have down at the shop here. I've probably got about 800 records down at the shop, and I could pull those. But I don't know. I don't really want to step on Rob and Patrick's toes, or not that I would step on their toes, but I don't want to spread the market too thin. A little bit.
There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna take credit. Randy will probably dump on me here, but Randy's, but Dead Wax. I think I might have been the first with the Coleman collection doing the auction stuff on. I don't know. PB wasn't doing it yet. Rob wasn't doing it yet. I mean, there might have been someone who did it way before me. Randy, you would know. I don't know, but we did that regular thing because Coffee Dave and I bought Coleman, my late friend's collection from his sister. And we each there was like 5,000 records or so, plus another 1,000 of singles. And we each kept about 700 albums ourselves for our collections. There's a lot of cool stuff and imports, sold stuff. But then we sold the rest to kind of finance it. We ended up making, I think after we bought the collection and after we kept 1,500 records collectively, we probably made $2,000 a piece over a year and a half, which is not a lot in terms of the work, but we got 700 records. We didn't do it to make money. We did it. His sister didn't want to deal with record stores. And I said, what do you want? And I talked to a couple of record stores. I knew friends that own stores up here, made her an offer. And she goes, sure. I said, well, think about it. Go research. She goes, no, Coleman would like you to have it. And we put those cards in each one. And it was I really enjoyed it. I got if he's watching now, Rob Walker and was criticizing, how can you sell your dead, you're shilling your dead friends.
But did he really mean that, or was he
I don't know. I mean, he kept on it, and he still believes that. Yeah. I mean, and he wasn't the only one. It wasn't many people, but I think people got the love of the music, and they got a record with Coleman's picture and a little bio on him, every record, and it was great. And I had a lot of people. I met Harry. I met Kimbo. I think Kimbo too. They came here and said, hey, can we dig through the stuff in your garage? And they came, and Harry would buy a bunch of stuff, and Kimbo. There's a few other people that heard it that live local and would come by. I met all these great people. There's the guy, I think his name is Dave. The guy, he was a regular on Rachel's occasion. Didn't come up. He was I think it was called Walnut something. He's the guy that died of cancer about a year and a half ago. And he was sick, and he would come and want some records, and him and his partner would come. She would always drive him because they lived way up north here, but he would come into Seattle for these cancer treatments. And D. Walrus, that's it. Thank you. Really sweet guy. And he'd buy some records, and then I'd give him extra records, just to give him some extra stuff. Really sweet guy. But then it was sad when he died. But what a fighter! One of the sweetest guys.
Yeah, Harry's had some nice stuff. I bought a few things off of his Whatnot auctions.
Yeah. I've done some of the shows. I just don't. I like the social part of it, but this is where I get lazy. I hate the schlepping part of it.
To me, it's I get a real kick out of sending records to my friends. Something really gratifying about that.
Marty, and I was impressed. Marty reused the mailer that I sent him.
That's right. I wondered if you would see that. I turned it inside out.
Marty bought a record from me on Whatnot, and then turned it inside out. Still had his label on the inside of the record, so he reused. I'm proud of it. I do the same thing.
Right on.
Because those mailers are expensive.
I hold on to all my mailers that I get to reuse them again.
I do too, and I was buying. I need to buy it from Bags Unlimited. They do have this one great pre-sealed kind of triangular.
Yeah.
It's It's the best mailer.
I buy mailers from them, but I buy the cheaper ones, the ones you still have to tape and everything. But I know the ones you're talking about.
just worth it for the again. That's where I get a little lazy.
So you're just basically peeling it and folding it, and you're done.
Correct.
Yeah, but I do put a piece of tape just on top
for
of
insurance.
that.
That's a good idea.
But it's so fast. But I only use those for single. But I have a ton of boxes from the stuff I get. Coffee Dave drove up last week and gave me like a back bin from his car of boxes that he's had, all sizes. So those are in my garage now. So
yeah.
Can you get the just the square fillers? Like, I don't like to send an album just by itself.
Yeah, you can buy those. Like Bags Unlimited, there's a few places, but a lot of times you have to buy a big quantity. It depends.
Yeah, Marty, I will tell you a place I buy stuff from, buy the fillers from. It's a lot cheaper than Bags Unlimited. It's called Supply Hut. I'll send you the info on Instagram, but their boxes are decent. The mailers are decent, but the mailers at Bags Unlimited are better. But if you're just looking for the feelers, the squares, I was buying those from, I haven't bought a while, but I was buying those for way cheaper. I can't remember the price, but it's considerably cheaper.
So
but I also
Java Hut, what's it called?
Yeah, close, except with an S. Supply Hut. Yeah, I think they're out of Ohio, I think. But also you can get the priority boxes from the UPS, the post office.
Trim those out and put them in.
Free ones, and just cut them up and put them in there.
That's a good idea.
But then you got to cut them up and do the work. I tell you, I'm lazy. You're young guys. You guys are young.
I know. Being retired, I know you don't have time to cut up cardboard boxes.
It's not even the time. It's just I know it's
I understand. I'm sitting here saying I do that, but I also buy the fillers as well.
See, I used to be able to have illegal immigrants do that work for me, and now they're all getting pulled out of their car and sent back.
Well, since you brought it up, and I figured you would, I work at a golf course, and the majority of our workers around here are immigrants, and most of them, like the current course that I'm at, I've been there 15 years, and there's a guy that's been there that was there before I was, and now his wife works there. She actually mows grass on the crew and everything, and he's been picked up and taken out of country, and then he makes his way back. It's happened at least once since I've been there, and that's a common theme, especially around in my area. I've been here and lived here my entire life. So what's the answer?
Well, let me
but before you continue, what I would like to see happen is these guys these had kids here, and they're good people. I want them to become citizens. Absolutely. And I think it should be made easy for them to become citizens. I think it's unfortunate that we've gotten to the point that we're at now, because the immigration and the border issue is not something that took place 6 or 7 years ago. The issue's been going on for decades and decades and decades. Yeah. And now we're at this point where we've got an issue that we need to do something about. So how do we handle it? How do we handle it in a way that is moral, but also in a way that says, hey, we want you to become a citizen. Here's the pathway to citizenship. But also, if you don't want to do it, you've got to get out.
Fair enough. And I know illegal is illegal. Okay. During Bush W, during Obama, and during Biden, there were bipartisan. We need a path to citizenship.
Right.
And it started with W, to his credit, and that group. There's a small segment, they happen to be a Republican segment on the right, that don't want to fix the issue, or don't seemingly want to fix the issue.
Right.
And the last year of Biden, there was that bipartisan plan. And then, of course,
but they've waited. I think they've waited too long.
They've been trying since W, and that's 20 years.
They've been trying. They haven't been trying. The problem has been going on before that. Why have we waited so long?
I agree. You need yes, we need to block the borders, and we need to do all this stuff, but you need like there's no rules. There's no
we don't have the infrastructure to process the amount that
exactly.
It takes decades.
Exactly. Because we've allowed the problem to go on for so long. So now when you try to fix the problem, you have the chaos that we're having right now.
Indeed, indeed. And listen, if we could suddenly magically remove all of the people that are not here legally out of the United States, our economy would crash instantly. It would crash instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want them. I don't want them to go because
right.
the ones that I know of, I can only speak to the ones that I know of because we have at least 6 major golf courses within 45 minutes of each other because we're a resort area and we're known for our golf in this area. And all the golf courses use the same type of workers, and none of them are.
Joe, are those guys taking jobs from white kids that need to be on the course?
Are they taking jobs from white kids? They're not taking jobs from white kids because the white kids don't want to do the work.
Exactly.
There you go.
Why hasn't the Trump administration sent ICE into your place to do it there instead of Minneapolis, where there's hardly any?
Well, I'll tell you, they have. Not Trump, but ICE has been in our area on multiple occasions, and they take them out and then they make their way back.
And I know people like in comments always say, well, Obama, rightly so, deported more people, but he did it legally. He didn't just grab people off the street and bust them back. He didn't get people who are citizens caught up in it. We're not against ICE. What's happening with ICE right now is a tragedy and is bullshit. We're not against. And
I'm not talking about the chaos that's going on now.
Right.
I'm talking about the problem started.
Yeah.
In the, I mean, I can only say I was born in 81, and I didn't pay attention to immigrants or the politics until I was probably in my 30s. I'll just be honest with you. But what I'm seeing now is reaction to a problem that should have been dealt with, of course, years ago.
For 25 years, I lived in a neighborhood that's 50% Latino from Mexico, Central and South America in the Mission District of San Francisco. And it was the greatest neighborhood of people, a lot of legal, a lot of illegal, and hardworking all around. It was a mix of working class people, artists, Latinos. It was a great neighborhood, the best place I ever lived in. It was a mixed neighborhood. And, it's a tragedy. I live in an area now, and right down the end of the block, there's a big Somali community. I'm just waiting for the shit to happen here at some point. You know what I'm talking about, Marty, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I'm like I said, I'm not arguing with you by no means, but it's just a tough situation that we're in because, like specifically the family that I'm talking about, I know they have 3 kids. So they've got 3 kids that are born here that are citizens, but the parents are not citizens. So it makes some would say they should fucking go after the business owner who's hiring these people. Well, see, the problem is that they're not hired by the company.
Who's hiring them then? Who's paying them?
Well, they're contract workers.
So they provide a 1099
and them.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the deal is that and I can only speak of what I know. And the golf course that I work for, and the majority of the ones around here that I know, they hire a company that provides the workers. So they pay the company a fee, and the company sends a paper check to the workers.
But what you're saying is
they're not employed.
They're saying ultimately your business owner is turning a blind eye to it.
Correct. Well, I mean, they like that because they don't have to pay the health insurance,
you feel off the hook, and that's happening everywhere.
401k. Yeah. So I mean, but
yeah, that's the infrastructure that we've set up to accommodate,
right,
so that we can have people.
Why don't we try to make that family legal? Why can't we just okay?
Right. And we should.
We've been going back and forth. All the money that's spent to deport and coming back, make those people legal. They've proven themselves.
The reason why we don't is because you can win elections by creating animosity towards them. Yeah.
But also the counterpoint to that, isn't it? The more immigrants they allow in, and then the census comes in and counts bodies, not necessarily citizens, and they use that number to get House seats and representatives and everything like that. The other side uses that as well.
Yeah. I wonder, Joe. I haven't heard a whole lot on that. I need to dig into that a little bit more.
I mean, and that's what I hear.
I'm
not trying to play devil's advocate, but you can't.
It's an interesting. Yeah,
I
it's
don't like the
interesting.
idea of saying one side doesn't want to get rid of it and the other side does. I think
Yeah.
both are benefiting from that.
That's true. You know,
And
the whole when people say that illegals are voting, I know that that's blatantly false. But the census
They're
thing
not
is
voting.
interesting. Yeah, they're not voting. They can't vote. The census thing is really interesting. I need to dig into that a little bit. And if you know, each person in Congress represents, I don't know, 700 to 750,000 people,
right.
and does if it's true, I mean, it seems like such a huge process to try to create a democratic an extra
Yeah.
seat in Democrat to try to get more illegal people in there to create this, because the census only comes out once every 8 years or however long it is, and that seems like a stretch that they would be using that, but I can't say for sure that that's not a tool. Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
Randy says a honest thing. Let's make them legal then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think if any illegal immigrant has a legitimate job, just make them legal. They're not the criminals. They're not the ones. If there's criminals, lock them away, legal or otherwise. You know. No, I like what I hate when liberals or on the left, Democrats get painted that we want all these violent people here. We don't want violent people illegal. We don't want violent people who are not illegal. We don't want any violent people. We
Okay.
wish everyone didn't have guns, but I
It's
get that's part of our thing. People
it's
have guns.
misdirection, Mazzy.
I'm not trying to take guns away.
Yeah, like I told Rachel, that per capita, people who are illegally commit far less crimes, whether violent or non-violent, than citizens do. I mean, really, if we want to make a change in violent crime statistics, we ought to look at our citizenry and get rehab. I mean, look at all the homeless people we have right now that we can't take care of.
You know, look at all the big white collar criminals who've been in prison, who
man.
really ripped, the banking crisis. All those people, very few went to prison, but Trump has actually pardoned a lot of criminals who are white collar. They say, oh, they haven't murdered anyone, but they've taken their money, they've stolen financially. The
head of Binance, a cryptocurrency.
Look how many people lost their homes in 2008-9 during the big crash,
and nobody
got fucking put in prison. All those bankers should have been like castrated.
Here's something that really gets my goat is that we're told by the right that we need to go after the people, the welfare queens, and the people that are abusing the system and that are getting food stamps when they don't deserve it, and that are getting health care when they don't deserve it. The percentage of fraud that goes on in that under those categories is dwarfed by the percentage of corporate fraud that goes on in corporations. Corporations can pay millions and millions of dollars to lawyers to the tune so that they save on loopholes and new tax laws and lobbying, so to save them hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in tax revenue that we don't see. Like, it's just amazing how well the right and even the left have brainwashed into thinking that the problem is with the people on the bottom of the ladder instead of the corporations who are at the top. That's where the big fraud, the big corruption, all is at the top. If we could get a handle on that, there'd be a lot more revenue to be able to distribute it and take care of the people who really need it.
Well, you're talking about cutting budgets. I mean, Elliot says it right. Mental health issues. I mean, look at the atrocities from the left and the right of the homeless. It's not, they'll dump on the cities with all these homeless people, but they're there for a reason. The cities somewhat illusionally take care of those people to a point, but they're all fucked up. The tent cities are fucked up. There's mental health. There's heavily with the drug situation. That is the worst. To me, that's the worst part of America. The homeless and drug situation, to me, is way worse than illegal immigration in this country. It's more violent.
So much farther. Yeah.
There have been killings from homeless people, mentally fucked up homeless people, but homeless people have killed people themselves, other people, innocent people.
Yeah.
And
90% of the reason why somebody's homeless in America today is because of a drug problem.
Exactly.
And
why
we throw them away.
If Trump wants to do something great for America, that would be like the Marshall Plan. Do something to attack this. Get rid of this drug. like put money into that, sink that money into not building fucking new East Wings or Kennedy Centers or structures with his name on it. Figure that out.
But Mazzy, don't you know that all they have to do is pull themselves up by their own bootstraps? They can just go out, and if they just buckle down, you can't.
And a lot of those people, San Francisco and Seattle, I can only speak for these places. I'm sure Portland and
we have it in Salem here too.
They put more money into the homeless thing, and it never gets resolved.
Right.
They try to do shelters. A lot of people don't even want to go in shelters because they get ripped off. They don't like the situation. But if they can't tackle the mental health and the drug thing about it, it lacks supports. Absolutely.
That's the in these big cities that are run by Democrats and stuff like that. It's been a real failing on their part to not be able to address this, spend way too much money. And so rightly so, there's some resentment from the other side that sees.
Well, you also have some, and I'm against some of the far left people that, say you can't, clean up an area. I mean, I hate this right now because this is where it gets bullshit. In the last week, both Seattle and San Francisco, they're cleaning up the streets because there's a fucking Super Bowl, right? That's the wrong reason to do it. I mean, yes, we want clean cities, but when the tourists come, first of all, the Super Bowl is in Santa Clara, not even San Francisco, but a lot of the events are in San Francisco. So they're cleaning it up like the entire year, not just when there's a fucking Super Bowl and TV watching.
Yeah, they're washing the car when the relatives come over. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're at an hour and a half, and I've got to get ready to get the lunch together and go down to my folks' place. I thank you so much for hanging on, Mazzy. Joe, thanks for coming up.
Thanks for
having a party. Are you going, Mazzy, to a party?
I'm going to, we're going to Joey and Christina's house first.
Fantastic.
And then a friend of theirs who I met, I forgot their name, but we're going to there. So, and we're there to watch Big Bunny. That's the only reason.
Right on. Well,
that is a bullshit thing. Why people attack,
It's silly.
They're making something that's not.
He happens to be one of the biggest artists in the world, and he happens to be from an American area.
From Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Joe, anyway. What are you doing? Are you going to watch at home today?
Yeah, we're going to eat here at my house. My two sons are going to come over and watch the game with us. Well, the halftime show will be on, and we'll listen to it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll understand a word he's saying.
Well, there'll be some good commercials on the break.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Have you ever heard REM?
Yeah.
Do you understand a word Michael Stipe said in his first album? So, okay.
Well, I go ahead and tell you, that's why I listen to the blues, because normally they're slow and I can understand half of what they're saying. So,
sweet.
All
right, guys, have a wonderful day. And thank you so much in the chat for coming by today. It really worked out. And
I'm glad you had a show, Marty.
Yeah. Maybe I can get the ball rolling a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's calming.
That's cool. Yeah. I appreciate that. All right, guys, take care.
Bye now.